Today, the moon continues in Gemini and it brings up a little bit of challenge, a little bit of some bumps in the road we might experience today, specifically around how we wrap our mind around things, how we find the words to put things into. And so, our theme for today is finding the right words. And with the Mercury retrograde and the Mercury conjunction to the sun, let's look a little bit deeper at what today's Gemini moon could be bringing us. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Friday, April 12th. And yesterday I gave you a little more depth, a little more information on how to understand what it means when two planets are conjunct. And so if you missed that, check out yesterday's video from April 11th. And that was the video where I gave some of the background to better understand, because we've had several conjunctions this week. We had yesterday's Mercury Sun conjunction, Wednesday's Mars Saturn conjunction, Monday's Moon Sun conjunction, which was an eclipse, and the moon, of course, makes conjunctions frequently because it moves so quickly through the signs. But nevertheless, understanding what a conjunction is can help you have a little bit of a filter when you hear things maybe on the internet or around you. People are talking about astrology. You can understand what a conjunction is and why it isn't as simple as you might hear. Like with the Mars Saturn conjunction, it's not quite as simple as just frustration. There's more to it. So check out yesterday's video for what I had to say about that. That was the video for April 11th. So today, April 12th, we have the moon going through Gemini, right? So air sign, Gemini, focused on ideas, mental processing, problem solving, finding the words to put things into, and how we want to communicate, how we need to find the right way to communicate, where what we want to say will land, and what we need to hear can be heard. So those channels of communication are a theme. And for today in particular, although generally with Mercury retrograde, we're thinking, rethinking our communications. So what's happening today is that the moon moves through Gemini, and as it moves through Gemini, it's going through, in particular, the middle degrees of Gemini, where Mars and Saturn are currently located. So Mars and Saturn were conjunct together in the same degree on Wednesday. Today, they are 2 degrees apart, still close enough to be a very influential conjunction between those two. So when the moon moves through the square in 90-degree relationship to those two planets, it's triggering. So it's activating the emotional expression of the challenges, or the merging of the energy of Mars and Saturn coming together. So again, I was sharing yesterday about how Mars and Saturn, Mars is the energy of action, movement, risk-taking, spontaneity, directness, right? Acting without thinking. Okay, Mercury is in the sign of Aries. So the planet of thinking is in the sign of action without thinking. So we might stumble on our words. The wrong thing might come flying out of our mouth that we might later regret. So that's okay, right? It's okay to say things that we didn't mean, or that weren't really what we meant to say. We can correct it later. It's really about how we honor ourselves, have compassion for ourselves, and say, hey, that's not exactly what I meant. Let me try again to explain, because it's just bursting out of us right in the first place. So we've got that going on. And now the moon, which is our feelings, the moon is the mood of the day, right? So as the moon goes through Gemini, where we're thinking about information, we're curious, we're asking questions, focusing on our verbal communications, verbal expression. And that is where our mood, our vibe is going to be. So the energy of needing to express ourselves verbally is there, the need to follow our curiosity and ask questions and learn new things and explore mentally, work things through in our minds, especially with Mercury retrograde. So we're kind of hashing and rehashing and thinking and rethinking. And then activating or squaring that Mars and Saturn energy in Pisces, where we experience the Saturnian limitation and the Martian impulse to act, even in the face of something not agreeing with us, for example. So lots of different ways this could express itself, but thinking today about where things might feel challenging, where we might have to, where we might say something and then have to back up and say, wait a minute, let me really get clear. So in other words, this energy might it might show up as conflict or verbal arguing, right? Verbal conflict or disagreement, in terms of ideas and the way that we're communicating and expressing our ideas. But what that challenge or conflict is bringing us is the pressure to get more clear, to be more powerful in our verbal expression, and to get clear about how to say what we really mean and to hear what we really need to hear, or learn what we really need to learn, right? Find that path of information and the exchange of information that is really going to be most powerful and most effective. So going back to our intentions that we set on the new moon, this week's eclipse, right? We're still just only very few days out from that Aries potent eclipse. And if we're thinking about starting new things with that Aries energy of initiation, of new beginnings, of finding our courage and stepping onto new paths, today is going to help us clarify how we want to put that into words. What are the words? What is the language? How do we want to be heard? Where do words need to change or be updated to more accurately reflect who we are today, or what it is we're becoming, right? As we step onto that new path that is leading us forward into the future. So reviewing your words, reviewing your communication, taking a step back, even if you accidentally said something that really wasn't quite right or that you didn't really mean, it's okay. Just have compassion for yourself, explain where you're coming from, and find a way to come together with, if you're having a conflict with someone or some group or something, to work it out and have that opportunity to clarify what you really mean and find that path of communication that's going to help you get where you are going, right? Where you want to be. So communication that is in alignment with our heart's truth. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Thank you so much for being here. I am Marina Orms, and you can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com. Thank you again for being here and for subscribing to this YouTube channel. I'm here every day with astrology for unshakable self-care and making the best of the planets and how they guide us to understand ourselves better. Check it out, astrologyheals.com, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.